Welcome to our Wednesday meditation service. When Jack and I were in show business and we read a book about Edgar Cayce, somebody gave us a book. We're walking down Broadway in New York City, and somebody recognized Jack and handed him a book about Edgar Cayce. We both read it, and then we just wanted to find the center where the Cayce organization was in New York. And when we got there, the oldest people on the planet greeted us. There were no young people, but the love that they exuded and the welcoming. And then they invited us to a meditation service, and we attended. And as we came, all the young people in our age group started coming up those stairs. We never invited anybody in. It was just the time was so right. It was 1968. We had marched in Chicago, but we only went there to investigate what the Chicago 7 were all about. Came back to write. We're going to try to write a movie about it. And that's when the book was handed to us, and it just opened up a whole other world through meditation. So it's such an honor to do this service. It's the most important thing in your life is to meditate, to take that time to start your day, giving the silence, whether it's 15 minutes, half hour, or however long, just making that commitment to be quiet. You come into what your destiny is supposed to do, or what you're supposed to do each day, and also gives you a kindness, a caring about other people, and you'll attract many, many friends. And I'm sure the people that are coming here know what I'm talking about because you are meditating. So let's do a call and response chant. And I will call, and I hope you respond. I am in your presence. Cleanse and purify my mind. I am one with all. I am one with all. Kindness and love flow through me. I see only love. Where there is love, there's peace. I can feel your presence. Cleanse and purify my heart. I am one with all. I am one with all. Kindness and love flow through me. I feel only peace. Where there is peace, there's joy. Love restores peace on earth. Love restores peace on earth. Cleanse and purify my mind. Cleanse and purify my heart. I am one with all. I am one with all. Kindness and love flow through me. Where there is love, there's peace. Love restores peace on earth. Love restores peace on earth. Om. Love restores peace on earth.
Good evening, everyone. some time back, my younger son, had a friend who was interested in possibly setting up a speed dating set on computer. In other words, a speed dating place where people could get together. And he wanted my son's input. My son talked to me about it. He didn't necessarily want my input about it. And this wasn't like the speed dating things they do at a seminar. You know, they have these seminars where they have a lot of these young men and women who are looking to meet someone, and they have these tables set up where you get to meet somebody for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you get to discuss all these things that are on the list for you to discuss. And that's only to decide whether or not you'd like to date the person. Each of you has a number. At the end of the seminar, you let the maestro, the person running it, know the numbers of the person that you talk to that you'd be interested in dating. That's just another example of the speed at which our society is operating. But I jokingly said to my son, I've got an idea for a speed dating thing to do where people meet each other, but they got to follow the absolute instructions. But this is real speed dating. They have to meet at Starbucks only wearing a trench coat with one button and flip-flops. They each have a double espresso, and only 4 words can be exchanged. One partner says, "My place or yours," and the other one answers, and that's how the date goes. So there actually are some sites that are almost approaching that idea. So I was prophetic, and I'm talking 10 or 15 years ago. But there is a thing about love that has many of the people in our Western culture confused. And it's not surprising that we are confused, because about 95% of all movies are about falling in love. And the same thing goes for music. I mean, every song you hear is just about love. And so it seems to us in our early years, it's all about finding that perfect partner to fall in love with. And we suppose then life will be much better, and you'll have this incredible relationship where you can share this love. The problem is that this love that the society is all caught up in is better defined as romance. It's more biologically oriented than it is truthfully oriented. So biologically, people are seeking to find that partner that's going to be there for them, and it's just going to be extraordinary, the kind of relationship that they have in every way. And it's hard to get over. It must be difficult to get over that, because there are so many people that I know, people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, even beyond that, who are looking for the right partner. And today, when I speak to people like that, some of them actually attend the church, and they're looking for this right person. But it seems to me that they're all looking for somebody 20 years younger. And that goes right back to the biological thing, the romance. Are you really looking for love? Because love is something transcendent. It's transcendent. And it cannot be acquired through the persons on the physical level that you meet. It must be developed from within. There has to be a desire for a love that encompasses life altogether, so that it's not simply focused on a particular partner. It's a love that opens you up to recognize the miracle of life itself. Do you realize how far away we are from that kind of joy and that kind of love? I mean, how many of us today, because we're inundated by the media and we're addicted to the media, we're so caught up in the conversations on the cell phones and all the people we're trying to keep up with on Facebook and all the people with the emails and all the things we're trying to get accomplished in life. We have lost touch with our core spiritual nature, so that when we approach something which would be to us something beautiful, something that would inspire love, we don't even see it. We pass it by. It's in the way. It's not what we really think it's all about, because we have been over-satiated. We've been overfed, over-entertained, programmed, overrun. And now, can you stand by the side of a river or a brook and listen to the wind in the trees? Can you see the birds fly and land? Can you see the sky and the stars? Can you see a sunrise and know the majesty and the miracle of it? You see, we don't see any of that as miracles, because we have been congested with the illusions of love and life. But there are people that have freed themselves from that world. It doesn't mean that they have freed themselves completely and totally from either carrying on some kind of job or profession. That they do, but they are no longer operating in the same consciousness as the people of the world. They have transcended the insanity and the speed and the congestion of the media. They have transcended that. So even when they're working, listen to this. Are you there? As I say this, ask yourself if you're there. The job that they do wholeheartedly. And anything that they find themselves to do, they do wholeheartedly. Their mind is not off somewhere else, waiting to get done with the day's work and get down to the bar or get down to their latest relationship or get something else done so that they can acquire more money. They'll work a second job or do something like that just to keep up with what would be defined by the spiritually enlightened as insanity. Keep up with the insanity. That's why quite often you hear the masters speaking about overcoming the world. What do you think they're talking about? When they're talking about overcoming the world, they're not talking necessarily about you leaving the world. They're not even talking necessarily about you going into an ashram or a monastery or a convent. They're talking about you withdrawing all that energy that's been usurped by the media and life as it exists in the fast lane. They're saying that you could enter into that state of joy where you would have insight and beautiful wisdom and peace and love. You can enter that state. But to do that means that you have to take to task your congested, conditioned awareness. You have to be willing to say, you know, there might be something to this whole idea with meditation. There might be something to this whole idea of the holy pause. Well, if you're not familiar, it's something that I speak about, the holy pause. When you're not feeling okay in your own skin, where you're not awake in the majesty and the miracle of the moment, but you may be feeling disgruntled because of some conditions or circumstances that are taking place, either in your personal life or even in the life of the world. You have to pause. The masters pause. And they check in if there's negative thoughts and emotions coming up. They check in. Why? Why am I feeling this? What's the point of this? I'll give you a real out right now beside this talk. It's just an aside. Some of the things that people become disgruntled about take place in conditions and circumstances over which they have absolutely zero control. Something that's taking place in the world that they heard, they see, they don't like, they feel it's not right, it's unfair, it's bad, it's evil. Okay. But all of that going on within you, stop and ask yourself, what can you possibly do about it? And if you can't do anything about it, why allow all of this negative energy and concern to fill your consciousness? That's just an aside. That's not my point tonight. But I'm saying, if you've got a problem with the conditions and circumstances taking place in the insanity-driven world, if there's something you can do about it, certainly take whatever action you feel guided to take. But if you look at it and say, you know what, I can't do a damn thing about that. Why am I angsting over it? So that's just an aside. That aside right there is probably worth a $100 gift tonight. Oh no. What's the point going to be worth? What's the point of this talk going to be worth? I am just here. I just said to someone in our group discussion on Sunday, we always have a group discussion following the Sunday service and meditation. And while we were in that discussion, I was speaking about something, and one lady jumped in and said, gee, I feel uncomfortable cutting you off like this. And I said, well, don't ever feel uncomfortable about cutting me off, because I'm a living talking machine. I'll be talking no matter what. So I hope I relaxed or a little. But if you walked out of here tonight somewhat inspired at the idea that you are just not exactly, totally a physical being, born in a world of physical phenomena that appears to be outside of your ability to control or deal with. If you were to leave here tonight with the idea that I am really a divine being going through a physical experience, I've incarnated so that I have the ability to reflect on my own mind. In other words, I can actually be introspective about the things that I have thought today and the actions I have taken today. I can be introspective and say, okay, how did that make me feel? What was the result of that action today? And so you can begin to moderate your own consciousness because you can reflect upon your thoughts and your actions. But you're still a divine being. It's not going to make that much difference. In the end, you're going to have to pay out all of that because what I'm about to say now is the real point. In order to help people find their divine consciousness, right here, right now, heaven, right now, within you, all around you, in your midst. To do that, people have to go through some understanding and taking to task what they're used to thinking and the actions and feelings they're used to having, so that they now can transcend that thinking and those actions because, listen to it, because what used to tick them off and send them into a negative feeling and emotion only now appears to them as something that needs to be forgiven, released, and blessed. What if you lived like that right away? What if you decide to leave here tonight and say, you know what, I'm just going to live an enlightened life. And whenever I have negative feelings, negative thoughts, negative emotions, I'm going to pause and say, what would an enlightened being actually do when this takes place? And I'm telling you what they would do. If they're living in that refined space where they are literally in the awareness of the miracle of being alive, they look at children playing in a playground and their heart just is filled with the love and the beauty of that. These beautiful, spontaneous children have no second thoughts, they have no animosity, they're not angry. They get hurt, yes, they fall down, they cry, but they come back, they get back up, they do more and get on with each other. Eventually, there's no deep-seated self-condemnation. No, 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 no. Not at those early ages, they don't have that. They don't go around feeling, wow, oh God, I feel terrible today. They don't do that. And so you see that, you feel the miracle and the blessing of that. Or you find yourself watching a sunrise or a sunset, and you actually listen to it. What? I actually took the time to watch the sunset? I actually took the time because there was a beautiful field of flowers growing that I pass by every day. And I never even noticed them. I don't care about them, I guess. But then I said, you know, I just want to stop and consider that field of flowers. I want to stand by the river and be without all of these things running through my mind that says, you're wasting time, you could be getting those appointments done, You could be getting that work done you need to get done. You could get ahead. You could get a raise. You could get this. You could get that. You could continue to get sick and sicker. If you want to, keep after that because you think still you're going to find a way to make more money and control more conditions and circumstances in the world that's going to make your life work, and you can't. If you want true life, you have to take to task your own awareness. The only thing keeping you from true life and true love is the fact that you've become congested with the insanity of the world. Let me share this with you from A Course in Miracles. This is from, most of you have the new edition of A Course in Miracles. And that's on page 103, this information. You are only love. But when you deny this, you make what you are something you must learn to remember. That's what you're doing in Unity. You are only love, but you've got to learn to remember that. And that's what you're doing here, getting involved in these spiritual principles. Teach only love, for that is what you are. This is the one lesson that is perfectly unified, because it is the only lesson that is one. Only by teaching it can you learn it. As you teach, so will you learn. If that is true, and it is true indeed, do not forget that what you teach is teaching you, and what you project or extend, you believe. I'm going to read that again. If you're not familiar with A Course in Miracles, this is just corroborating the ongoing principle of truth that A Course in Miracles is attempting to relate. I'll read it again. You are only love. That means at the core of your being, you're divine. That's your soul nature. That's what you are. You're incarnated to take to task your awareness and to reflect upon your thinking and your actions and grow your soul. Teach only love, for that is what you are. This is the one lesson that is perfectly unified, because it is the only lesson that is one. Only by teaching it can you learn it. As you teach, so will you learn. When it says teach only love, and as you teach, so you will learn, what is that actually implying? Because it's implied throughout A Course in Miracles, but right here, what is it implying? It is implying that you are living in a reciprocal world. What you are sowing, you are reaping. In other words, whatever your consciousness is putting out, you are perceiving around you, coming back to you. So it's saying to you, teach only love. Because that's really what you want to be coming back to you. But to teach only love, it has to be unconditional. It's not talking about teach only love to your favorite partner, teach only love to your family, or teach only love where you think you can get something out of it from the world. It's saying, what if you became an emissary of love so that negative conditions, terrible things taking place, only brought to your mind the necessity to forgive, to be considerate, to bless. And you did that quietly, silently. You would be teaching only love. Some people may even come up to you and say, hey, why are you so at peace? Don't you realize what's taking place here in the office? And of course, your best just to be silent, because you're realizing life is reciprocal. It is trying to help you understand your true nature, that it is in giving that you receive. So it's going on to say this. Only by teaching love can you learn it. As you teach, so will you learn. If that is true, and it is true indeed, do not forget that what you teach is teaching you. The energy of your consciousness and what you are putting out is relating in the world in which you see yourself. So, A Course in Miracles is pretty direct in saying that. I'm going to share another quote from A Course in Miracles along the same line. But it's not just the Course in Miracles. Jesus said it all in 2 lines. Love God with all your heart. Love the majesty of being alive. You don't have to love God who you can't see. Just love the majesty of being alive and able to reflect upon your life. So love God and the majesty of being alive with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And the second command, he said, is like the first one. Love your neighbor as yourself. And he meant that because your neighbor, as you see your neighbor, is how you see him, is from your own consciousness. So if you're living in that state of love, you see your neighbor as that. And when your neighbor is not being that way, you can bless, forgive, and be considerate, because that's teaching only love. The only safety in life lies in extending the Holy Spirit awareness, which is the oneness of all life. Because as you see the Holy Spirit's awareness and the gentleness it bestows on others, you will be recognizing that gentleness in your own mind. Once it can accept this fully, once your mind can accept this fully, your mind sees it sees no need to protect itself. The protection of God then dawns upon it, assuring your mind that it is perfectly safe forever. The perfectly safe are wholly benign. They bless because they know that they are blessed. Without anxiety, the mind is wholly kind and becomes beneficent in all of its relationships. I sometimes say, why would anybody write that? Why would anybody put this into the world? Obviously, it's inspired. It comes from that higher level of awareness. This supposedly, some people think of it as being dictated by Jesus Christ. And they believe that's fine to believe that it was dictated to Helen Schuckman by Jesus Christ. Or you can just say that she aligned her awareness with the Christ consciousness, which is universal, and this came through to everyone who's willing to read it and to take to task their own awareness. So I'm going to conclude this so we can have our meditation from A Course in Miracles. The proof of your spiritual practice is the amount of peace you sustain in living your regular life. Because you're not being called out of your regular life, you're being called to a higher awareness within your regular life. It may bring about some changes in the way you live your life, but honestly speaking, this is a transition in consciousness. And so this is what it says to us. Salvation is for the mind, and it is attained through peace. This is the only thing that can be saved and the only way to save it. Any response other than love arises from a confusion about the what and the how of salvation. And this is the only answer. Never lose sight of this, and never allow yourself to believe, even for an instant, that there is another answer. For you will surely place yourself among the poor who do not understand that they dwell in the abundance and that salvation is come. So it's here and now. It's not about some salvation on a distant day when we drop the body and we go on to that mythical idea of heaven someplace beyond the stars. It's right now. And this is what it says. Salvation is for the mind, and it is attained through peace. That is the only thing that can be saved and the only way to save it. Any response other than love arises from a confusion about the what and the how of salvation. And this is the only answer. Never lose sight of this, and never allow yourself to believe, even for an instant, that there is another answer. For you will surely place yourself among the impoverished who do not understand that they dwell in abundance and that salvation is come. So we're going to do one of our spiritual practices where we relax the thinking of the world, which we have become so conditioned to that it is automatic. The mind is forever conspiring, thinking, contemplating how to improve one's physical, personal life. And now in meditation, we just relax that somewhat. And we allow the core nature of our being, the divine soul nature, to gently come through and let us feel okay in that peace, regardless of what is going on in the seeming world around us. So we allow the soul nature to speak to us and say, just be still, relax. Be okay sitting here. Be okay with just sitting here. Not thinking, not contemplating, not planning, not fearing, not wanting, not resisting, not judging. That's the mind of the world. No, it's okay to be just sitting here. Did you know that? You can be okay just sitting here doing nothing, getting nothing done. So let's use that as an affirmation, a mantra. Bring that gently to mind as your meditation. Just gently give your mind that affirmative ideal. And whenever thoughts may interfere, let them come and go. Don't fight with them. Don't try to drive them out. Just gently consider the mantra. Bring your mind back to the mantra. I am okay just sitting here, allowing the moment to be what it is. Doing nothing, getting nothing done, but peace. I am okay just sitting here, doing nothing, accomplishing nothing, getting nothing done, but peace. I am okay just sitting here, doing nothing, wanting nothing more, letting the moment be peace. In this refined state of awareness, we offer the names of those that have been submitted to our prayer list. As Norma calls each name, just allow this awareness of being one, this peace of being one. Just continue in that awareness as each name is called.
Danny Cole, Emma and Mother, Andrea, Zachary, Johnny, Tristan, Karma, Jonathan, Sabra, William, Sharon, American veterans and the VA, FAA and air traffic controllers, Holly, Ethel, Mike, Star, Melody, CSL Lady and her father, Unity Prayer Team, Travis Morphew, John Sanger, Chris and Kurt, Rita and Wanda, Robert Learman, Rebecca and Trixia, Joffrey, Judy, Shelby, the American government, Joy Reed, Alex Wagner, Joyce and Tom Gooding, Michael Knutke, Elaine McCarthy, Tony, Stephanie Herberts, Juniper, Canyon, JC, Cole, Rand, Shad Thies, Pat Cosi, Frank Cosi, Dega Bideau and family, Ann and family, Lori, Becky, Rosalina, Tom and Sherry Gaffenberger, Larry Novick, American National Parks employees, protect endangered wildlife, protect old growth trees of the USA, Sebastian, Sandy Spahn, Charlotte, Sylvia Ronstead, the Call family, Joshua, Abigail, and Hannah and Omar, Jean Parrott, Katie Parrott. You can call a name at this time if you would like to do so.
D. Matthew and family, S. Casey and family, S. Daniel and family, Jack M. and Diane M. Sandra Kirko.
You see this healing light surrounding the prayer box and all the people's names that have been submitted throughout the month. We see them healed physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Let us take a minute to enter the divine vision of the new heaven in earth, the new consciousness shared by humanity, developing now in the consciousness of everyone sharing this Boulder community with us. And this new consciousness of being one spreading to everyone sharing the state of Colorado with us. And it moving into the minds and hearts and lives of everyone sharing these United States of America with us. And this pristine consciousness moving in the consciousness of everyone, in every nation, in every race, in every culture throughout the world. It's restoring harmony, healing, peace, wisdom, and insight to all consciousness on the planet Earth. As we pray, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and God is love. To this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And those of you that are watching this live stream, if you're on our website watching it, you can scroll up to the right-hand corner and it will open up an area for you to tithe, ways to tithe to Unity of Boulder. And in other areas of the live stream, I understand you can scroll down. But do give something back to Unity of Boulder. Support this instrument of God through which you seek to understand true life. And everyone here can bring into their hands those gifts they'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And we'll bless these tithes with this offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, the Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen. We have no special announcements.
The gift and bookstore is open. We have refreshments. And there's items in there that are so unbelievable. So if you're looking to buy something for somebody, they're so unique. Just check it out even if you don't buy anything today. And let's all talk a little bit after this service. So we have tea and cookies.
Okay, on Sunday we'll have our regular, no, actually, on Sunday,
Are you speaking to both services?
I will be speaking at both services. Tisha's taking Sunday off, so I will be doing both services on Sunday, and they will be slightly different. So, to everyone, have an awakened, beautiful evening.